What a
mess.
But you know what? Bless this mess. Off to a good start.
Oh, hello. I didn't see you there.
Hi.
In this audio-only medium. Welcome to HowDoWeHuman. I couldn't even remember the name of our own show. But I do know that it's the podcast where we overanalyze all of the weird and uncomfortable micro moments in life. I'm Chris Binning.
And I'm Evan Cox.
And today we're going to be speaking about speaking in public.
That format works for any topic, it turns out.
It does. And I'm not going to abandon it, but I will abandon the thought I was going to have because something very important has come up.
What is that?
It's that I need to know, Evan.
Huh?
How you doing?
Oh, thank you. I'm doing pretty good. Speaking of awkward micro moments, I was like, let's go. We started that podcast and I wasn't wearing my headphones and I had to find them. So I was like, my head was under the desk for most of that intro.
You did make the rookie mistake of saying whenever I'm ready. I didn't care when you were ready.
That's valid. You know, you can't waste your time worrying about other people.
That's true.
I spend most of my time worrying about other people.
Yeah.
But I'm told you can't.
I spend most of my time saying that I don't worry about other people, but secretly I am doing it.
I spent 80% of my time worrying about other people, 20% of my time reading quotes about how I can't. But anyways, I'm doing good.
Right.
Yeah, it's a sunny day.
It's a sunny day in Los Angeles, California.
Sunny day in Los Angeles, California. And unfortunately, in podcasting means we just shut the windows.
Yes, we're
going
gonna
to die.
bake alive.
I've got a little story I want to share though. Cards on the table.
Uh-oh.
I've been looking for another therapist.
Woo!
Had one a couple years ago. Enjoyed the experience. Haven't for a couple years. And when you've had one and then live a couple of years of your life, you pretty quickly go like, "Hey, that was better." I had someone to talk about.
You don't know what
these
you
things
got
with.
till it's gone.
Absolutely. It's very, very, very hard to find a therapist in LA for some reason. I mean, population, I guess there's so many people, and most people in LA have more money than I do.
Yes, I know the feeling well.
So yeah, I've been looking pretty seriously. I don't know why the amount of time that popped in my head was a half an hour.
Yeah,
Been
wow.
looking pretty seriously
You're
for about a
committed
half an
to
hour.
this.
No, for I don't know, 3 or 4 months probably. And I found someone who was close enough in between where I live and where I work. My main goal is not to drive in the opposite direction.
That's a good goal.
Before work. So I found this guy. And I was like, I'm going to give him a call. I give him a call. Doesn't respond. I just leave a message. Hey, asking if you're accepting patients. It said on the website you were. This is my phone number. This is my name. And like 15 minutes go by and he calls me back. And he's just like, oh, hello. Like he's an older guy and seems, when you talk on the phone to someone and you're like, you're odd.
Yeah.
You're an odd man.
Sure.
So he goes, I got your message. I was just calling you back. But your message, it distorted. I couldn't hear your name. Could you tell me your name? And I go, yes, my name's Evan Cox. And he goes, okay. What was that first name again? I said, Evan. Kevin? That's a common,
Sure.
awful bane of my existence for me. A lot of people assume my name is Kevin. It is not. It's Evan. And so, no biggie. I'm like, oh, no, it's Evan. E-V-A-N. B-V-A-N? No, E-V-A-N. D-V-A-N? These aren't names you're spelling.
No.
Evan. E-V-A-N. You might have even thrown out one more. T-V-A-N? I was like, oh my God. Oh, E-V-A-N. Okay, Evan. And your last name was Cox. Same story. C-O-X. B-O-X as in box? No. DOX as in docs? Definitely not. This goes on for minutes. Like I try to make the attempt not to over exaggerate. It's very easy to go, that went on for an hour.
Sure.
But it literally went on for minutes of this guy
my
asking me how to
God.
spell my name. He finally gets it. Evan Cox. Oh, okay, Evan Cox. Well, I'm not accepting patients right now. I was like, what do you say to that? Like,
Oh my God.
why did you do this?
Do you think it was a test? Do you think it was
Maybe
like,
it was. Maybe I failed.
it was like an audition sort of like he was trying to gauge how you two would get along
because
and or how much work he felt like he would have to put in.
he just knows, like, this is what I'm like. You've got to be able
You've
to
got to
handle
be
me.
able to handle this. Every word that comes across my desk, I'm going to do a Wheel of Fortune, try to solve the puzzle.
RLSTNE. Almost R.L. Stein.
Almost?
Always bugged
Do you
me.
think that's where he got it from?
I hope. I always wanted it to be R.L. Stein. The answer.
The final spin, the answer is R.L. Stein, and nearly every letter
You have to
before
buy.
you've even chosen your letters.
Anyways, Chris. How you doing?
Thank you so much for whispering that into the mic, Kevin.
You're welcome. Kevin Docs. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Something that we have spoken about, I believe, off mic.
Ooh, exciting.
In the rare times that we've spoken when recording is not taking place during visitation hours. I mentioned that I'm sort of remodeling, redoing my room a little bit.
Exciting.
Yeah. So yesterday, a new desk arrived.
Whoa.
And so the desk did not arrive assembled, as desks rarely do.
No.
So I had to assemble it. And I like to pride myself a little bit. I kind of enjoy assembling furniture for the most part.
Well, I mean, you did used to work at IKEA.
I
think it's
did
a
used
part
to
of
work
you
at
now.
IKEA. Yeah. Yeah. It was weird. Like, I didn't really like assembling furniture before. And then, like, my first couple days there, they, like, took me into this dark room. And I think they inserted some, like, microchip. I don't really remember. But ever
inserted one
since
of
then, I've loved assembling furniture.
Inserted one of those weird little IKEA wrenches somewhere in you.
Yeah, it was tough. Yeah, it was a long process where they just turned the Allen wrench over and over again.
Anyways, you pride yourself on your building.
I pride myself on building. Oh, today's gonna be a giggly episode.
Better like it.
But so this desk, I assembled it. I started assembling last night, which was maybe not the smartest move because
I do that a lot too, though. When I get furniture,
Yeah.
I don't want to just leave it in a box. So I'm like,
Right.
let's do it now.
Yeah, let's do it right now. 10:30 p.m. And I got through the first handful of steps, and I start to realize that they didn't do a great job with the diagrams that they have placed in the instructions. I only put one piece on backwards initially because it was so poorly labeled in the diagram that anybody could have made that mistake.
Absolutely.
I refuse to take accountability. It could have been any of us.
Could have been me.
It could have been you.
I was there.
It could have been the listener. It could have been anyone. But the way that they also had like pre-drilled some of the holes, not big enough for several of the nails.
Oh, I've had that. That's the worst.
It is. And on the instructions, it says, like, please only use a screwdriver. Do not use a power drill. Please just use a screwdriver. And so I was willing to follow those instructions. But at some point, when I got halfway through building the desk and said, fuck this, I'm going to bed. When I woke
Which is
up,
a good way to go to bed.
yeah, always go to bed angry. But I In the morning, I marched downstairs. I opened the little closet. I pulled out that power drill.
Yeah.
It's go time. And I gotta say, that was the way to do it.
Yeah.
The process, a lot faster, a lot easier, and no problems from that point on.
Is it like, what was it, IKEA furniture?
No, I got it on Amazon. It was like I think the company was like Farino, maybe.
Some company with something against big power drill.
It's not the first time that I've seen that on furniture. I think it's on IKEA sometimes. I got like a big like kitchen pantry sort of like wardrobe almost.
Yeah.
And when I was assembling that, it was the same thing. That was from I think it was from like Office Max or Office Depot or something that we just repurposed as a pantry. But it said the same thing when we were assembling it. It was like, do not use a power drill. You're gonna, risk warping the wood or whatever when you drill into it, or splitting the wood when you drill in. I don't know.
I guess that makes sense.
It does. I think that it's honestly more to counter the idiots that are like, come on, keep drilling, and they just drill right through.
I mean, we're all trying to counter those idiots.
We're all trying. Everything in life is just to counter other idiots.
You're wearing a near flannel right now. It makes me happy that you're talking power tools.
Yeah. Listen, I am a manly man.
Look at you.
I love my flannels.
85 degrees out and you're wearing a long sleeve.
So hot.
You made a mistake.
I did.
Still time
I wore something like short sleeved last time, or maybe it was just like a thin shirt, and I was like, oh, it's freezing.
Oh, not this time.
Not to this time. Recording always keeps me on my toes.
Well, that's the one rule of podcasting. You gotta be uncomfortable.
You gotta be uncomfortable. It makes for the best content.
It does. Well, should we dip into our main top?
Yes. We've had the appetizer. Let's move into the main course. Public speaking.
Hate it.
Love it.
It's funny to me that last week we'd recorded and had a brief conversation where we were both momentarily on the side of like, I don't know, public speaking, because I hate it and you love it. Like, maybe we shouldn't talk about it, but it's like, that's the perfect thing to talk about. Let's have a conversation.
A thing we have different opinions on?
It's so rare.
No thanks.
Let's not. Let's just agree.
Let's just agree. Spend an hour just in agreement. Because the way the world is, so many people are fighting all the time, and I just want to talk to people who have the same opinions.
Me.
But yeah, public speaking is something that I think most people hate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I feel more comfortable public speaking than I do in one-on-one conversations most of the time.
Including this one?
Not including this one. That's why I had to throw that little... I think if it's like a one-on-one conversation with like a friend or a family member, whatever, that's fine.
Yeah.
But in terms of like, would I rather speak one-on-one with a stranger, or would I rather do public speaking in front of a bunch of strangers? I would take public speaking in front of a bunch of strangers every time.
Yeah, the stranger factor, Like, I almost think... Because, I mean, you so rarely public speak in front of strangers. I feel like most of my public speaking's in front of people I know, and that's a nightmare to me. I don't like that. I think I could public speak in front of strangers.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll get to the bottom of it.
Because I would have assumed that you would be more comfortable in front of people that you knew.
No, I've always been the opposite. I'm very at a very young age, I am a musician. At a young age, I remember there was a point when my mom wanted me to play a song, because like I knew how to play songs, and I was just like, I hate this. I don't like doing this in front of, because basically what I'm trying to get at is, to me, even at that age, there was such a difference in, like, at like 13 years old, I think I could perform. I think I could have gone, this is insane, but I could have gone on stage at 13 years old in front of like some thousands of people, and I could have done fine. You know, I would have got the jitters to a certain degree, like anybody might in front of a large crowd, but like I would have done fine. But performing in any capacity in front of like 4 people that I know freaks me the fuck out.
Okay.
Immediate panic attack.
I guess that I can understand too, because that's also like a like sharing your creativity thing.
Ooh, yeah.
Like so I used to like draw.
Me too.
Yes, and when people ask to see your artwork,
Awful.
It's the worst. So I can definitely understand the like musician fear of like performing in front of people that you know that way.
Yeah.
That definitely makes sense to me.
Okay.
Has anyone ever asked you to draw them?
Yes.
Isn't that the worst request?
I don't have a skill for drawing faces. That has never been my strong suit. Yeah, no, not a fan.
Yeah, me neither.
Nothing good's ever gonna come of that.
No.
I mean, maybe, I don't know. Maybe other people are better at drawing than I am.
Right. Well, and a lot of like, I don't know what your art style was like.
Bad.
Mine was very like cartoonish.
That is all I can do now, is kind of cartoonish stuff.
Yeah. But when you're doing cartoons, the way to draw people is to kind of accentuate certain features.
Yeah.
And oftentimes those are not features that people want accentuated.
That's how that works. And I see you as a caricature artist out on Venice Beach.
Yeah, a lot of people also don't love to be drawn in dune buggies, which was exclusively what I was doing.
I've never been in a dune buggy before.
Me neither. Only on canvas.
So I say all of this to say I consider public speaking a performance to me. Do you not feel the same way?
Yeah, I think that at least in a majority of my public speaking experience, I would definitely categorize it in the performance category.
Yeah.
Do you think you have a fear of public speaking? Because that always comes up as like the most common fear in America, because apparently people have never like seen a snake before. Snakes are the worst.
I'm not. I don't mind snakes so much.
All right, that's the end of the episode and the end of the series.
Okay.
This is the one thing we're not allowed to disagree on. My intense hatred and fear of snakes.
Okay, Indiana Jones.
I told you I'm a manly man.
Fuck, what are we talking about?
Do you consider public speaking a fear?
I absolutely don't, which is weird. Like, I don't know. You know what? I'm afraid of spiders. I don't think of public speaking in that way, and you know what? I've gotten, and this is kind of an improv thing, but like I've gotten pretty good at facing the fear, as they say.
Yes.
And I've kind of given myself that instinct of like, if you hate this, like, just do it. It'll be fine. Like,
yeah.
It's not going to be the worst thing that's ever happened.
Right.
Just do it. So yeah, no, it's not like I'm like devastated and terrified of public speaking. I just don't like it. I don't like to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I will do it.
Okay.
And I survive.
So brave. It's weird because you and I are both, I think, generally more introverted people.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people don't think that I would enjoy public speaking.
No.
At my current job, there are times where I will have to make announcements over the PA speakers.
Yeah.
And everybody is always, when I first started, they were always so shocked that I could just launch into those announcements with such confidence and like poise, I guess. Because they're like, you're so quiet all the time, but I mean, you're killing these announcements. So I guess I find an enjoyment for sure out of doing it, but it always surprises people that I would enjoy it.
Here, I'm going to throw a wrench into the proceedings.
Throw that wrench! America's favorite game show.
I also love giving announcements. I'm realizing saying all these things out loud, I don't make sense. And I was hoping to be able to talk through all of this and get to like, oh, that's the specific. That's what it is Evan doesn't like about it. And maybe we will. We'll still work towards that.
Yeah. I'm your new therapist.
You're my new
since you
therapist.
haven't
Yay! Are you accepting patients?
What was your name again?
Oh, fuck. Yeah, when I was working at
WVAN
Van
XOX.
Hugs and kisses.
My name is Evan Hugs and Kisses.
Oh, I wish. But no, when I was working at Walgreens, you have to give store announcements.
Oh, sure.
Let me give you a little taste.
Uh-oh.
Attention shoppers. No, there's nothing along the lines of like, attention shoppers, like, we will be closing.
Yeah, you didn't
in
always
10
do
minutes.
it in the weird wizard voice that you and I tend to fall into. Attention shoppers.
Attention. No, what would I
The
do?
store will be closing.
I think I would just lean into my bassy voice and say, attention shoppers, we will be closing in the next 15 minutes. Please collect all of your items and get out. But that, to me, is the same as what we're doing right now. People, thousands of people are listening to this podcast.
Evan, don't be ridiculous. It's in the billions.
Billions of people, most of the planet,
Most of the planet.
signed on and subscribed.
The only ones that haven't are
Fools.
deaf. Oh, we went different directions.
I did not mean to call deaf people fools. I rescind my statement.
And I did not mean to call fools deaf. No further questions at this time.
Boy. So yeah, to me, this is like, I can talk knowing that people will hear me if I don't really ever have to see them hearing me or
okay.
face people criticizing or complimenting me. I just can throw it out there and there it goes.
Yeah, I definitely understand what you mean by like not having to deal with the feedback. Would you ever do, or maybe you have, and I just don't know.
Hey.
Would you ever do stand-up comedy? Because that's definitely a form of public speaking.
I have always wanted to. I have jokes written. I'm ready to go, but never have, never will. Yeah, it's a thing I'm forever putting off. Especially living in LA, there are so many available open mics. It is easy to just jump on stage and do it in front of other people who don't really necessarily have that much experience. But that it kind of freaks me out a little. I think similar to improv, like I can get in that headspace of it's a performance and I'm doing a thing, but yeah, I don't know. I think until I try it, I won't know if it terrifies me or not.
Yeah, weirdly, that is a type of public speaking that I don't know that I would enjoy. Because it might just be on a different topic from public speaking. Mm-hmm. But the idea that stand-up comedy is so cutthroat.
Yeah.
That part of it doesn't interest me. I wouldn't mind like being on stage and telling jokes. I like being in more of like a host capacity.
Yeah.
Of like keeping things moving, and it'll be funny, but I'm not here to be the funny person.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
You and I have hosted some things together before.
We have.
It's a really good time.
2 mixed reviews.
Positive reviews for me. I thought we were fantastic.
Oh yeah. The reviews of ourselves. Pretty good. And I think most people enjoyed it. I got a couple things that were like, listen, nobody cares. Nobody's here for this, you guys. So
build it, they will come.
But also the idea of like, because it's so cutthroat, you also hear about so many people that like have their jokes stolen.
Yeah.
Not something I'm interested in. Or heckling.
Yeah.
Because most public speaking things, everyone knows they have to pay attention to you.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, stand-up comedy is like, oh, I could pay attention to them, or I could do my own set right here at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. I experienced that in my years in a band, and I think we experienced that once or twice. We did a show or two doing improv in restaurants.
Oh my God.
When you're in a setting, so when I mentioned being in a band that was like playing bars and stuff like that, when you're in a setting where the activities happening in that setting don't require you.
Yeah.
People, I don't know, 30% of the crowd might be paying attention, and the rest are really just not thrilled that you're there.
Yes.
It's an uncomfortable environment, and that, I assume, is what stand-up comedy feels like all the time.
Yeah. I think that is true, at least for me.
We will have to do that sometime. We'll do a follow-up episode. You and I will do an open mic. It'll be so good.
I don't hate that idea.
I can hold it the same way you I don't know if I've said this on mic before, but like, genuinely, if you weren't around to like make me get invested in this, we would record all of these and never release them. That is how I operate. But yeah, if we keep each other honest and just go like, hey, we'll try it out, that'd probably be a good thing, or it'd be a mistake.
Well, either way, it'd be good content for this show.
Yay! Have you? I feel like we're so slowly swaying away from the topic, but still relevant. On that, have you ever looked into or thought about storytelling events? Are you familiar with the format?
Very loosely, I think. And the reason I say that is, in high school, I was on the speech and debate team. And so that's where I got a lot of my public speaking practice in, and really came to enjoy it. So I would do a bunch of different events, and they did have a storytelling event.
Oh, interesting.
Which is one that I did once, I think, and just didn't enjoy. I don't know what the sort of storytelling events are like here. Perhaps you could elaborate, and then I could tell you what my experience was the one time I did that event.
Yeah, it's basically like you've got a story, you want to tell it. It can be very serious, it can be very funny. Some people's storytelling is pretty near stand-up. Like, a stand-up that, like, a very, very, very successful stand-ups can get away with kind of long storytelling jokes, whereas newer stand-up comics have to just be like, joke, make people laugh constantly. Storytelling's kind of that, where it's like, it can be funny, but it might take 15 minutes to get to the funny part.
Yeah.
But it's being able to tell a captivating story in front of an audience and sharing things.
Okay, I would enjoy that, I think.
I'm also
Obviously,
gonna
I've never done it, but
recommend a podcast, Risk. Kevin Allison of The State has a storytelling podcast. It is very, very good.
okay. I think when I did it in speech and debate, it was like you had to take a pre-existing story and just like tell it in a captivating way.
Ooh, that's very different and interesting. I kind of like the challenge.
Yeah, it is a challenge because I went in the one time I did it, and this is true of most of my speech and debate career, where I would do a thing once, not succeed beyond everyone's wildest dreams, and so I would stop.
We're very similar in that fashion.
There were a couple events because there are multiple events within speech. I never did the debate portion of it, but there are many different events.
Misleading to say you were part of speech and debate.
Busted. I certainly debated many people within the organization. Just
got me.
Never for a trophy. But there were many different events, and there were like one or two that I really enjoyed. But the rest of them I tried once, twice,
three times
a lady. And then I would stop. And storytelling was one of them. I don't remember what the story that I even told was. I think it was around Halloween, so it was like probably Halloween themed. Spooky. Oh, you know what? I think that each tournament there was a different storytelling theme. Like everybody had to do a story with this theme. And so I think it was Halloween. I could just be making that up. I have no idea, but I think that's what I remember.
Did you do it with a flashlight at your chin?
Oh, that would have been good.
That would have been points.
Where were you 10 years ago?
Walgreens. doing my announcements.
Doing your announcements.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Walgreens.
But there was another event within speech and debate that I really enjoyed, which was expository speaking. Which is where you just kind of pick a topic and then you've got an easel and like different poster boards with graphics that you can put on them. So it was, I kind of envisioned it as like when Stephen Colbert would do like the word.
Yeah.
And so you could always cut to like a graphic essentially.
Totally.
And so that was like the one event that I really enjoyed, because that was also something where like everybody in that room, because it's in a competition setting. Yeah. They all have to either laugh when you want them to laugh or shut the hell up. Those are their two options. Everybody's got to be silent. They can't interject from the audience. Interesting. Except for the 1 year that my expository speech was on game shows and I insisted on audience responses to questions I would ask. But other than that, they're supposed to stay silent. There was also an event that combined improv with public speaking, where it was called Impromptu Speaking. Okay. And you would get a topic or a question, and then you had like 5 minutes to prepare essentially like a 5-paragraph essay, for lack of a better word, that you would then deliver.
Interesting. Yeah. So you deliver it in writing, or
no. You can have like a pen and paper with you or whatever to like formulate your notes and the structure of it, and you can look at it if you need to. Typically, the professionals don't have to do that. But
that's why I never made speech and debate team. I submitted all my speeches just in writing.
Just in writing.
Never spoke.
In an unmarked envelope. There was one time though where like, because most of the topics in impromptu speaking were like fun, goofy topics that you had to present. Yeah. But one time, because there was another event called extemporaneous speaking, which is more about like politics, and you have a longer time to prepare. You've got like 30 minutes to prepare. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, some people love it.
Some people love it. I don't. But the tournament accidentally or maybe on purpose. I think the thorough investigations I would conduct later proved that it was accidental, but they accidentally swapped or maybe just doubled down on the extemporaneous questions and prompts within the impromptu event. And so I'm the first competitor to go up in this like semifinal round. And they give me the little folded up piece of paper that has my specific prompt on it.
Yeah.
And I open it, and it's like, how should the US and Europe go forward with the current proposed trade deals or something like that? It was something where I looked at it and I was like, oh no! And so I gave just total nonsense speech. Ran so short. People laughed because they knew the struggle I was in, and I was not afraid to admit it constantly throughout the speech. And one of my friends later was like, that was the most spectacular bomb I have ever seen go off at a tournament.
Well, that's something.
Yeah, so even when I have no idea what I'm talking about, I can entertain in a public speaking sense.
That's a skill. That's a tough one. The being able to, I mean, really just being able to bullshit.
Yeah.
On the spot in front of people. I don't know. Yeah. No, I don't. Yeah, I don't do that super successfully. If I don't know what I'm talking about and I'm having to speak on it, I think I just kind of run in circles on the tiny amount that I do know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Until people get tired of listening.
To give some sort of context into the differences between an extemporaneous question and an impromptu question, you've heard the extemporaneous one that I accidentally received.
Yes.
To give you some context of like the type of questions I was prepared for.
Yes.
I remember at another tournament, the question I got was, should the final Harry Potter film be split into 2 parts? So that's the type of thing I'm prepared for.
Much more. Go ahead.
And then I get European economics thrown at me.
I'm giving you the floor. Give me your speech. Why should the last Harry Potter movie be split into 2 films?
It should for the 3 following reasons. It should for financial reasons because it gives Warner Brothers an opportunity to make more money.
Capitalists.
It also works for the fans because there's so much content in that last book that you don't want to cut anything important out. And the third reason is it gives Alan Rickman a bigger paycheck.
Those are good reasons.
Yep.
All right. Convinced. You graduate.
Thanks.
So what time period of your life did you start speech and debate?
Freshman in high school. So I was trying to do the math real quick in my head.
Freshman, like 15?
I guess so.
I think that's...
Yeah, 14, I think, when I would have started.
Okay.
Yeah, because ages 14 through 18, I think,
yeah,
would be what makes sense there.
I think that's going to be the massive divider. That is where we parted ways. I did not have any, outside of like book reports and stuff like that, I definitely didn't have a class to get better at this thing. And I'm still not good at it. I am talking into a mic as if I have things to say and I'm good at talking, but like I am not. I feel like I have a very hard time getting my point across, or rather just getting what I'm trying to say understood.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like, in my head, I am so confident that what I'm about to say will make sense. And they'll be right on the same page as me. And then it comes out of my mouth and I'll have just 7 people staring at me. What the fuck are you talking about? Let me try again. And yeah, people get sick of that.
Yeah. Similarly, I guess you saying like book reports and things like that. That was also something that it would always surprise people in classes or something.
Yeah.
Because I would generally, maybe towards the end of high school, I was a little more vocal, I guess.
Yeah.
But for most of it in class, I was pretty quiet, just kind of kept my head down. Would maybe make some snarky remarks to whoever is sitting directly next to me,
snarky
and
remark.
no one else. Well, the problem is too, like, so many classrooms were seated alphabetically, and Chris Binning, whether they do it first name or last name, I'm pretty close to the front every time.
Yeah.
So it limits the snarkiness. I would find ways.
Yeah, that's fine. I have an E and a C for my name.
Right.
It's also very near the front.
Yeah.
Nice.
But every time there was like a group presentation or like we had to read something that we wrote, oh man, Chris came to play. After multiple times, people would be like, "Oh, that guy's pretty funny."
Hey.
Hey. That was the end of it.
I had a somewhat similar experience. I've never liked it, but around that same year, not, you know what I mean, around that same age.
Yeah.
I found that, like, first off, you kind of go through elementary school and middle school. Some call it junior high. We called it middle school.
We also called it middle school.
Oh, good. I feel like everyone else in my life called it junior high, and
Yeah.
I feel crazy.
I feel the same way. Maybe it's just like every state more on the west side calls it middle school, and maybe towards
I would
the
think
east,
so, but
it'd
like
be
most of the
junior
people
high.
I know are from Washington.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a possibility this podcast is just one person like staring at a wall talking to themselves. We're gonna slowly find that out. But yeah, so around. Oh, anyways, I stopped a sentence and didn't finish it. ADD.
You said through elementary school.
Elementary school through middle school, you kind of are given tasks of like, you have to give a presentation on this book.
Yeah.
And I kind of just like kept along with that because school is school and this is what you have to do. And at a certain point in high school, probably sophomore year if I had to guess, it kind of clicked with me like, I don't know, like I'm kind of given freedom here. I don't really need, they're not telling me what book to give a report on. Like I can just read whatever I want. I can just find something that actually interests me and I can try to make it funny. And when I brought all of that stuff, I remember the first one that I was like, I feel good about this. It was a history class, and it was like pick some historical figure and do a report on them. It might have, you had to like find a book about them and do a report on the book.
Okay, yeah.
And, you know, historical figures like George Washington. And I was like, I found a pirate. I am doing my report on a real pirate, and I am interested in it, and I'm gonna make it kind of goofy. And it was fun, and it went really well, and I felt good about myself. Still don't like it. I think the funny thing is, like, listening to this, you and I have had, like, we have very similar opinions. We have very similar experiences. It's just that you like it, and I still don't.
Mm-hmm.
I had to like present something at work the other day, and I was terrified. I did it though. I did well. I got through it.
Okay.
Also, yeah, it's similar to my improv. My brain just shuts off, and I just like, I'll be funny. And
Yeah.
sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it's not.
I definitely prefer public speaking with things that I have either written or planned well in advance.
Yeah.
Even though I can do sort of the public speaking where I'm just kind of off the cuff or like I've just thought about it a couple minutes beforehand, for the most part, I would much rather go in with a plan.
Yeah.
I think it's much easier to succeed that way because you know kind of what you want to hit and you can have gone through it before and know what feels weird. The other thing is knowing when to stop speaking. um, and the reason that I say that, there was maybe 2 years after I had moved out here, my college, one of the professors came out here and was like, let's do like a get together where all the people that have graduated from our school that have now moved to LA, let's kind of make it like a networking thing, just sort of a small like get together. People can meet each other, and if they don't know other alumni out here, they can meet them, whatever.
Yeah.
And so naturally at some point everybody has to stand up and say their name, when they graduated, and what they're doing, how long they've lived here, and what they're doing now.
Yeah.
And so immediately I'm like, okay, I'm going to crush my portion of it.
Of course.
It's going to be quick because we got to keep this thing moving. There are like 30 to 40 people here. I'm going to hit this boom, 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 joke, out, done.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom,
And I
boom.
did. It went exactly the way I hoped it would. People laughed where I needed them to laugh right there at the end, and I moved through it real quick. And for the most part, everybody else moved pretty quickly.
Yeah.
The couple people that seemed to take a little longer, okay, like they've had more accomplishments, they've got more to say, that's fine. Then the last guy, or like the second to last guy, everybody, even the most successful people, I would say they ran under 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I was probably like 45 seconds. Because I was like, we got to keep this going. But I think it was the second to last guy gets up there and speaks and just rambles for, it had to be 12 minutes.
Oof.
It was so much about his journey, the times he had thought about quitting, the story, the novel he had written, the plot of it. And it just that everybody in that restaurant patio area is just kind of looking at each other like, is this still happening?
It's the worst feeling.
It is, yeah. So it's definitely important to kind of know your limits, I guess.
Yeah.
That's something I think to learn.
That is something. I do have one more thing to say.
Do it.
Outside of the initial thing to say, which is, sorry, the neighbors are doing yard work again.
Yes. Yet again, late evening yard work.
Evening. Different day this time.
Yeah, what the heck? I thought it was only on Wednesdays.
Yeah. We'll just plow through, I guess. Yeah, all I need to throw out there is, you need to know, for some reason, in spite of hating public speaking, when it came time to graduate high school, I threw my name in to give a speech at graduation.
Oh, I wish I could have done that.
I didn't make it.
Uh-huh.
But, like, as it got closer, students voted.
Oh, okay.
So, I forgot about this. I had put my name in, but I was elected. So, like, a bunch of people can put their name in, and, like, I think it was 3 people were selected. So, obviously, there's, like, valedictorian.
It's like the Tri-Wizard tournament where you all put your name in, and then a couple names got spit out.
I'm Cedric Diggory. Oh.
Spoiler alert.
Sorry.
That's not the one you want to be.
It's my favorite character name. So yeah, hey, so like I hated public speaking, but for some reason threw my name in. The students were like, yeah, let's have Evan be a part of this. I was like, oh shit, I've got people backing me up. That's odd. And then there was another round of student voting, and I was not the one, but my friend was. But yeah, it's weird. Like normally in that situation, getting up to it and finding out that I wasn't the person who was going to be giving that speech, my reaction would have been, oh, thank God. Like, why did I sign myself up? But I was kind of like, oh, that would have been fun.
Yeah.
And I still don't understand that emotion to this day.
Man.
I think I want to like public speaking is where I'm landing.
Yeah, and I think knowing you, I think that makes sense because it does kind of come back to the performance thing.
Mm-hmm.
I am so jealous, though, that you guys got to just like, oh, I'd like to give a speech at graduation. I am so mad that your school did that and mine did not.
It was there was one. There were, I think, two elected speeches. So it was the smart people, and then two other speeches from like just people the students wanted to hear from.
The everyman.
The everyman. Josh Widener and Dylan Thompson, I believe. Throw some names out. Shout out to those two. Brain fart. What was I?
Because our school, it was.
Oh yeah.
We had 3 valedictorians that all gave speeches, and then the student body president gave a speech. And I was pretty good friends with the student body president, so I, on more than one occasion, was like, "Hey, what if you yield some of your time to me? Because I so badly want to bring the house down at this high school graduation."
It's a need.
It's a need. People are going to sit through, I don't know, these hundreds of names. They want, let's give them a little taste of the good stuff before the names go.
Yeah, it's probably I don't know how big. I think we've talked about this before, how big your high school was, but
And I've thought about it many times, and it comes back to one of those things we've talked about where you could tell me it was like a graduating class of 200 or 700, and I'd believe you.
I'm weirdly in that same boat, even though I know it was a very small high school and there were not a lot of people graduating. I could not tell you what that number is. I want to say it was like 100.
Okay.
Graduating.
Mine was definitely more than that.
Most are. We also graduated in a barn. Kind of.
What do you mean you graduated in a barn?
We graduated in the same place they hold the rodeo in the Grace Harbor County Fairgrounds.
Anybody who stayed on the bull longer than 6 seconds got a degree.
Oh, that would be so much fun. Just like people who didn't quite get enough together to graduate, but give them the chance.
Oh, that'd be so great. If your grades weren't good enough, you still got a chance to graduate if you could ride the bull.
Attendance would be through the roof. I would attend graduation every year.
Yeah.
It's such a fun idea. We got to get on that board.
We've got to get on the school board,
I assume?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Too funny. Well, yeah.
We've learned it's 80% confidence.
It's 80% confidence. I actually did learn a thing. I need to, you have a notepad in front. I guess I've got this whiteboard. I should write because both these past 2 episodes I've had that's a thing to mention and then I forget it. It's gone out of my head.
Yeah, that's why you gotta have some physical note-taking devices like I do.
Never.
We learned know your limits.
Know your limits. I didn't learn what my deal is. I don't know. I don't like public speaking, but I'm okay at it, and I like it sometimes. And I can do it into a microphone when nobody's watching me.
Well, I think that what we've kind of determined, if I can tell you what you learned,
please.
It's not that there are 2 types of public speaking, essentially.
Yes.
General speaking to a group of people.
Yeah.
And performing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that you may feel some sort of like jitters, for lack of a better word, for the performing part.
Yeah.
I think you generally enjoy doing that.
Yeah.
It's the speaking in like a casual work or school environment that maybe when it's not like when you don't see the people in front of you as an audience. Yes. I think that's where you struggle.
Yeah, it's really it's the limelight. It's in a non-performing sense, doing public speaking when you're the only person everyone's paying attention to. Mm-hmm. That freaks me out. Don't like it at all. Yeah, that's something in there. Oh, I think we learned that you need to, yeah, if you don't like public speaking and you aren't just naturally finding that 80% confidence or 60, whatever the number we gave was,
It's always 80%.
speak about stuff you care about. Give that a try.
For sure.
And see if that alters your abilities at all or your confidence. Like, yeah, I don't care about history. I don't care about biology. Boom, 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 boom. But I do know about pirates.
I think you're definitely, that is an important thing, is speaking about something you're passionate about, which is why I enjoyed when I would do speech and debate. I could pick a topic that I was passionate about and speak on it, as opposed to like getting something, or like in a work environment when they're like, hey, can you tell everybody about this new policy? It's like, I'm not passionate about this new policy.
But you should be.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're not, get out.
But it's a lot easier to do public speaking when it is something you're passionate about, and not like something that you just have to tell people for whatever reason, or somebody is telling you, hey, I need you to do this. Then it's not like, you can make it enjoyable, but definitely when it's something you're passionate about, it's going to come a lot easier, both the skill and the confidence level.
4 episodes in, I think that was the first real advice we ever came to. But I think, hey, that's...
And the last.
Probably the last. Hey, we'll try. We'll see what we can do. I think it's useful.
Yeah.
We're helping people out.
We're helping people out. The billions of people that listen to this episode.
My mom, my dad, my sisters.
My mom, my dad, my brother.
1 or 2 of my 6 cousins.
2 of my 4 cousins.
I don't know. Well, how many cousins do I have? I've never counted them. Let's count cousins for a sec.
Let's count cousins.
I'm just going to leave it there.
All right.
Well,
do you have anything you'd like to plug, Evan?
Do I have anything I'd like to plug? I did realize we started plugging the Instagram account that will exist at some point. And have not been the past couple. So let's just throw that out there.
Let's throw it out there.
You can follow our shit.
Do it.
HowDoWeHuman on Instagram. And then, I do have something to plug. Do you have trouble remembering your spouse's phone number? Hi, my name's Evan Cox. And I have a foolproof new plan to help you remember your spouse's phone number.
What is it?
If I give it away, people aren't going to pay for it. I guess I could just tell you. It's like use your spouse's number as your CVS card. Then you have to punch it in. Then you'll remember it.
Okay. How much were you going to charge for that?
At this point, I changed my mind. Nothing. Free advice.
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
It seems like most of the times you have something to plug.
Mm-hmm.
You, at the end of it, say, never mind, I have nothing. Screw this idea.
Every time I try to plug something, you poke so many fucking holes in it.
That does sound like me.
Hey, Chris, do you have anything to plug?
I do. I am very excited. I'm working on a special project with the FBI. Oh. We are currently investigating Girl Scouts and whether or not they are real people or just sleeper agents left over from World War I.
Oh! And the FBI's in on this?
The FBI is all in on this.
My God.
Yeah.
I don't think you're supposed to talk about that.
Well, the results are coming out soon, and let's just say the answer may surprise you.
Speaking of, I had an idea You said investigators. I had an idea for a children's cartoon at some point called The Investigators, which were alligators in detective costumes.
Don't just give this
solving
away
crimes.
for free.
So my other plug is watch my children's cartoon, The Investigators, coming in 2035.
Yeah, animation does take a long time.
And that's copyrighted now. I said it on a podcast.
Yep.
I might as well have mailed it to myself. It's real.
Well, I can't wait to see all of those episodes. I'm going to binge watch The Investigators.
I hope everyone binge watches The Investigators. Coming to Netflix soon.
Well, I mean, over 15 years. So, soon is pretty relative.
Let's place bets right now. Is Netflix a thing 15 years from now?
Ooh, wow. Well, first of all, can't wait for the follow-up episode we do 15 years from now to see if we were right. Man, that's a good question. Do I think Netflix will be... Well, strictly because you said no, I'm going to say yes.
All right, we've got ourselves
Yes.
a game.
Tune in 15 years. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.